Hey guys, welcome to the last Halloween video for 2020. This is going to be a fun video. I'm going to do a quick unboxing of the Sparkle & Co. sub bag for October, and then I'm going to do a mani. But while I'm doing my mani, I'm going to read your ghost stories. So if you're excited for that, if you love ghost stories, if you like Sparkle & Co., hit that thumbs up. The mani in my right hand, I did not film. I'm sorry. I'll leave a video up in the cards for you guys of how I did a similar look in case you want to figure that one out. But I'm going to do the unboxing. So I want it all ultimate or deluxe or whatever. These are the gel colors that it came with. It came with 4 gel colors. They were all stunning. I'm not doing gel for the mani today. I wanted to so badly, but I'm like, we're gonna do dip because I had something fun that I really wanted to do with the dip powder. Speaking of which, here are the dip powder. Allow me to introduce you. These dips, I was super excited for the Halloween bag. I was so excited. I wanted to use this color. You guys know by now, that color is like my heart and soul. But I'm gonna do something super unexpected and super fun. I had to do something super fun for the last big Halloween mani. Come on now, don't I? A little bit. I'm going to use this color. I'm going to use this absolutely super bright, borderline fluorescence orange. I had contemplated using this green, but I did that green smoke mani. So I already did a green one. I'm also going to be using this purple flake. You guys know how I feel about flakies. Speaking of flakies, this bag came with hollow flakies. Also came with some super cute, super fun Halloween decals. These are not the water decals, they're just kind of like stickers, but super fun. Here is the card that came with the bag. This is going to describe all the stuff about subs, so you can take screenshots if you want, what the subs are, what you can get, how to sign up, all that fun stuff. I'll leave all the info in the description box in case you are interested, but moving on. It comes with a dip liquid. This time it was the glossy dip top coat. Also comes with a regular nail polish. This is unbelievably beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I might try using it for stamping, possibly, but it's silver hollow, absolutely gorgeous. This hollow has my heart, and that's the other swatch you see sitting over there. All these stuff come with swatches, which I so appreciate, because I hate swatching. I don't know. Some of you find it super relaxing. I can't stand it. This Halloween sub bag also came with these chocolates. I was a little nervous because reading this box, it says it's chocolate with like Pop Rocks in it. And I'm like, I don't know. Is that going to be good? So I bust the thing open. I had my little one standing next to me. So her and I both popped one and I'm like, oh my God, these things are amazing. I literally ate them all. I shared a couple. I'm not a monster. But yeah, they were gone. They were gone in no time. Anyway, I'm going to get on with my mani. I'm not going to talk through it, but I am going to start reading your ghost stories. So without further ado, let us begin. This story reads, I shared my childhood home with a poltergeist. It would walk up and down the stairs constantly. Our dogs would stand on the landing looking upstairs and barking furiously. It would shake my bed almost every night. One night I remember seeing it, just a white figure with a separate white head covering above where a face should be. It would mimic my mom's voice perfectly. I would hear her call from another area of the house, but she would actually be at work. My dad was a musician, and it used to ride with him to shows. He always said it felt like a hand on his shoulder. Finally, he told it to stay home, and he never felt the hand again. Last story. I was in my room listening to music and doing homework. The song Highway to Hell by AC/DC came on and threw a glass of iced tea across the room. Oh my gosh. Hope you enjoyed these. I have more, but those are the big ones. Love your videos in your Facebook group. Thank you so much. Thank you for sending that in. I couldn't even imagine. I can deal with, maybe feeling a cool breeze or my hair standing on end, but don't touch me and don't throw things. That's just rude. This is titled, My Ghost Story That Still Haunts Me. Hey Marla, love your first Halloween mani, so fun. Thought I'd share my ghost story that still freaks me out to this day. While in high school, I would work with my mom catering weddings during the summer. This particular wedding I was working was held at an old building on a historic site, Valhalla, in Lake Tahoe. I and the other catering staff were down at the lake watching the ceremony with all the other guests. My mom stayed back in the building to get the past appetizers ready. While she was in the kitchen working, she heard a muffled scream yelling, "Mom!" in what sounded like my voice. She ran out to see if I was okay, but no one was there. Fast forward to the end of the night after the reception, and guests had now left for the night. Us, staff, had packed everything up and were about to head out when I remembered I left my purse in the building. As I'm walking, I heard, "Honey!" yelled down the long, dark hall. To this day, I can still hear how clearly it sounded like my mom yelling "honey," which was her usual nickname for me. I panicked, thinking something was wrong, but then I remembered my mom had already taken off in the catering van and was nowhere near the site. It had been a busy night, and her and I both weren't able to share what had happened until after we got home. Just when I thought I was shocked about my experience, hearing that she experienced the same thing had me absolutely freaked. Not sure what happened that night, but I still get chills thinking about it. Happy Halloween. Again, with the chills. I have the chills. I can't. I don't know. I can't explain that whatsoever. I can't. I mean, what do you do in that situation? Do you start talking to the thing? I don't know. Like, is it something lonely that just wants to talk? Maybe it's like a mom that lost a child or a child that lost a mom and they just want to communicate. I don't know. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Thank you so much for sending that in to me. The next story is called Ghost or Just Pure Bad Luck. Hey Marla and Manny fam, I wanted to share with you me and my brother's experience in the Bridgewater Triangle that did not end so well for my brother. One day, about a year and a half ago now, my brother and I decided to go hiking. I was excited because 1, we decided to go to the Bridgewater Triangle, and 2, my brother and I had never gone hiking before. So it was a good day. 2 first-time things in one day. Anyways, we were strolling along, just the 2 of us on the trail. Everything was going good. About an hour into the hike, my brother randomly looks up at me and says, "I don't think we're alone right now." As the forest was silent, the wind stopped blowing, leaves stopped rustling, birds stopped chirping. I just kind of looked at him like, "Good, LOL," because we wanted something spooky to happen. I mean, why else go hiking in a haunted forest, right? As we kept walking, out of nowhere, we started hearing a third set of footsteps, as if someone was walking right next to us. The leaves and branches and the bushes lining the trail looked as though they were being pulled as someone was walking by them, and the leaves started falling off the branches and hitting the ground. My brother freaks out and decided it would be fun to wander off the trail. Me, I followed him with no argument. He says trails are boring and no fun, as he is running away from whatever is deciding to join us. While we were strolling off the trail, we can still hear something following us. Then out of nowhere, the footsteps stopped. The forest came to life, the birds were chirping, wind blowing, leaves rustling. We found a ledge with a beautiful view and stopped to look and just hang for a little bit before we headed back. I would say about 30 minutes into being there, again out of nowhere, the forest goes completely silent again. We hear sticks breaking in the distance, as if someone was walking towards us, but no one was there. After a few minutes of being a little creeped out, I tell my brother we should head back before it gets too late, and we end up walking back in the dark. I turned to walk away, and my brother followed right after me. No sooner did I get up to head out, and he turned around to follow. The ground gave out below him, and he fell 15 feet down the ledge. Oh my gosh. Landed on his feet, but crushed his back. We were at least 5 feet from the edge of the ledge and almost 7 feet off the ground, leading out to his fall. He is okay. He ended up in a 10-hour surgery, fusing discs, adding rods, screws placed to his spine. He was told he'd be out of work for 6 to 12 months. Oh my God. But he did so good. He was back to work with my father on light duty, of course, 3 to 4 months later. Since then, he made almost a full recovery and is 100% convinced that whatever was with us that day tried to kill him. Oh my God. Needless to say, It didn't scare me out of the triangle. I went on another hiking trip with some of my girlfriends. My tattoo artist is very familiar with the forest and had given me a map to guide us where the satanic cult rituals occurred, along with the area 15-year-old Mary Lou Araruda was found tied to a tree the day after her 15th birthday. Where is this forest? My little sister shares a birthday with her, so this spot was somewhere she really wanted to visit. There's also an old Indian memorial ground that is still used to this day and a pet cemetery. Oh, see? No, you were out of your mind with the pet cemetery stuff that we visited on our return trip. With all luck, as crazy as it sounds out, we had hoped to have some spooky experiences during our adventure. Never hoping for any spirits trying to kill us like that day with my brother, but that's quite all right. I can live without that type of experience ever again. But anything else would have been good. Well, there you have my almost deadly hiking trip with my little brother. Oh my God. Okay. First of all, y'all are nuts. I love your faces, but y'all are nuts. Not to say that I wouldn't do that. I've actually done many haunted forest type excursions. Never with a situation like that though. But that'll teach you. I'm so glad your brother's okay. I'm so glad he's okay. Oh, I couldn't even imagine. You must have been terrified. On hopefully a different note, this is titled A Funny Sort of Ghost Story. Hey Marla, so I live by myself with my dog and I work from home. So I'm home all the time. I have a 1-bedroom apartment, so right off my office is my bedroom. Well, I swore up and down to my family that I had a ghost. I kept my closet door shut. It's one of those bifold type doors that never fully shuts, but I never leave it wide open. So every couple of days, I would get what I need from the closet, close it as best I could, and leave the room. When I would come back, the doors are wide open. So the first few times I thought it was just me, that I had left it that way, and I would close it, come back a few hours later, and it's wide open. Oh no, honey. You have the same ghost that the other one had. They're touching stuff. Anyway, back to the story. So one day, I'm sitting at my office desk, working, and my back is to the closet door. Oh God. I hear the door starting to creak open. I'm getting freaked out at this point. I slowly turn around in my chair, and there it is. My dog is using her nose to get into the closet, solely to look around and then walk back out, leaving the door wide open. That's hilarious. And you know what? I would never be mad at that dog ever. You know what? You can open that door all you want. Open it, leave it open, as long as it's not a ghost. Thank you so much for sending that to me and for the laugh. We needed that after the last story, I think. Perfect timing. Literally have tears in my eyes. I was laughing. That was good. This next story goes something like this. Just a little background. I live in the house my grandparents bought in 1972. In 1981, my grandfather died of a heart attack in the living room. My grandmother lived there until 89, when we had to move her to an assisted living facility due to her Alzheimer's. She died 2 years later. I moved into the house in January of 89 with my cat. The house had a crawl space underneath with hardwood floors, so when you'd walk around, you could hear creaking. One night, I was in bed with the cat, and we both woke up hearing foot creaks in the house. This went on for 2 years. But wait, it gets better. When I would come home after work at night, I noticed my bedroom light would be on. At first, I didn't think anything of it. Maybe I forgot to turn it off when I left for work. It wasn't until I was in bed one night and the light turned on again and woke me up. As I laid there in bed after turning the light off, I got to thinking it must be my grandpa looking for my grandma. This went on for 2 years. Every time the light would go on, I would talk to him and tell him to stop because I wasn't paying the electric bill and I was trying to get some sleep. After that, I wasn't scared, just annoyed for being woken up in the middle of the night. Girl, I feel ya. It wasn't until my grandmother had died, the lights stopped turning on and the footsteps went away. And I knew the two of them were together again. I just got all the chills. All the chills. That, I believe that you're 100% right, and that is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. Oh, Oh, they're together again. That's amazing. What are you guys thinking about these stories so far? I I have all the feels. All the feels, all the chills. These stories are absolutely incredible. Incredible. I'm going to keep going if you guys don't mind. We can all, oogle, whatever, over that glitter in a little bit because it's that good. Anyway, I'm going to move on with my next ghost story. This story reads, not mine, but my older sister's story. Her son, Dylan, that was 5 or 6 at the time, came stomping into the living room mad. She asked him what was wrong, and he told her that Ethan was showing off, that he could fly while he couldn't, and it wasn't fair. Ethan is flying all over his bedroom, laughing at him that he couldn't fly. Oh my God. Ethan is my sister's firstborn that passed away a few hours after birth. She had never told Dylan about him nor anyone else in the family, and there were no pictures of Ethan either. First of all, I am so incredibly sorry for your loss. I can't imagine how horrible that must have been for all of you. I feel like kids are more sensitive to those things, and I don't know if it's because they're not conditioned through their life that these things don't exist or they're not real. I don't know, maybe it's something that we all have as children that some of us just grow out of over time. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think I think animals are like that too. Not that they grow out of it. I think animals have that kind of sense. Maybe it's just me. I tell you what though, if my cats ever freaked out over something that wasn't there, I may have to burn the house down. Maybe. All right. Thank you so much for sending that story and for sharing that with me. The next story, titled One of My Many Ghost Stories. You only sent me one? You're really holding out on me. All right, this goes. I first want to say that I have seen spirits since I was little. Nothing new for me, but this is by far the scariest one I have. When Jeremy and I first got married, we moved into a house that was close to his childhood home. He knew all the people that once lived there. It felt like there was something there from the day I set foot in the house. Things started getting weird for me pretty quick. I would smell cigarette smoke and see a stream of smoke, like a cigarette sitting in an ashtray. I began to hear the toilet flushing. Okay, it's an old house, maybe the mechanism needs to be changed, but it continued every night. No big deal. Christmas was coming up. I was on the floor wrapping gifts. I had everything I needed within my reach. I couldn't find my pen. I looked all around me, nothing. I stand up to make sure it didn't roll under me. Nope. I go grab a pen from the kitchen. When I came back to the living room, my pen was laying exactly where I was sitting. I tell my husband what's going on, but he blows it off. One day, he goes to raise the blinds, but the cords are tangled. He jokingly turns and says, "It's like someone doesn't want the blinds open." As he turns, a puff of cigarette smoke hits him in the face. He believed me after that. One night, I woke up seeing a man standing in my bathroom door. He was average height. He had on a blue work overalls, like the kind the old mechanics would wear. I could see the white name patch on it, but I couldn't read it. We exchanged glances, and he turned and walked into my bathroom and disappeared. The next morning, I told Jeremy about my experience. He told me. I described the man, Mr. L.C., that lived there prior to us. He told me he worked as a ground maintenance at the local university. He wore that type of uniform. He had Alzheimer's and died in the nursing home before we moved in. Here's the scary part. A friend of ours came over one night. He starts telling us about strange experiences he's having at his house. We told him about ours. After he left, we went to bed around midnight. Let me preface this by saying my husband is a sound sleeper. He sleeps through trees being cut down right outside of our window. About 2:30 in the morning, we wake up to what sounded like a brick being thrown. It was so loud he sat straight up out of a dead sleep. We get up to investigate. We had a basket full of seashells sitting on the back of our commode. We find this basket has been thrown across the room and into the wall. There's a gouge in the wall where the basket hit. There were no open windows, no animals in the house, nor anything else that could have done that. I said, "Okay, Mr. Elsie, you got your laugh and scared us, but please do not do it again." We chalked it up to he didn't like us talking about his presence. We never talked about our experiences while in that house, and he never scared us again. Y'all, see, my mistake is that I'm doing this voiceover and I'm reading these stories at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to have nightmares. I'm going to be dreaming about all your ghosts. This is going to happen tonight. That is, first of all, you got to tell me if this is a gift or a curse. I don't know which it is to be able to sense and see spirit like that. I can't imagine it being easy to deal with. I'm glad that was a one and done situation for you guys, because don't make a mess. That would be my thing. Just don't make a mess. Maybe. Anyway, I'm going to move on to my next ghost story. You guys are amazing. I have so many good ghost stories for y'all. Okay, this is titled Ghost Story, Well, Kinda. Okay, well, we're going to be the judge of that, I suppose. Okay, Marla, not sure if this really classifies as a ghost story, but it was a weird experience. I like weird experiences. So one year. Yeah, I know. 1 year. Okay. I was staying at my sister's new apartment place. I believe I have stayed before this weird experience. Anyways, I was sound asleep and all. Deep in my sleep, I heard this odd noise. Somehow now I was dreaming of gunshot. Don't ask why, but I did. So my sister came running out of her room. Turns out she was having this paranormal human pulling her. At the time, boyfriend was trying to wake her up, and she had been screaming bloody murder. So my reaction was to jump from my sleep. We ended up going to her room, and let me tell you, I did not sleep well that night. So later on the week, she has her time. Boyfriend's mom put a blessing and left the evil spirit from their bedroom. Such a weird experience we both had. You know what? I've had that happen to me before, kinda. You ever, have something happen in real life while you're sleeping? Like, for me, it's my alarm going off, And then in your dream, whatever's happening outside kind of integrates into your dream. Super crazy. But I would love to hear more about this experience. I feel like you held out on me a little bit. Thank you so much for sending that in. I've got another ghost story. This one might be a long one. It's not so bad. Okay, I can squish it in here. This is called Jerome, Arizona Cat Ghost Story. Hi, Marla. Thanks for all your great YouTube videos and Facebook group you created. It's literally getting me through the pandemic. Girl, you and me both. You're very welcome. Boo, here's my Jerome, Arizona cat ghost story for you and hopefully the other nail weirdos to enjoy. Thank you very, very much. I used to live just outside of Phoenix, Arizona, and still go to visit annually when we can. About 5 years ago, my hubby and I went out for a night to stay in a cute, quaint old mining town called Jerome, Arizona, not super far from well-known Sedona. I love this little mining town of Jerome. It's literally built on the side of a little mountain. Quote, mountain. I think it's a must visit if in the area, just to see and carouse our little shops, even if just for a day. On maybe our third visit, we decided it would be fun to stay the night. Me, not much into the scary movies or any of that scary shit, opted not to stay at the old mental hospital. Oh, come on, you're no fun. I think it's the Grand Hotel now because I didn't want to get scared shitless. So we stayed at a different hotel at the time called the Mile High Inn, which is supposed to have a friendly ghost cat that can lurk from time to time. That's also my kind of party. Anyway, as normal, we went through the little shops in the day, and then as evening approached, we headed back to our local bar to enjoy some music and drinks. On our way out, I realized I had left my jacket inside our room, so I ran upstairs to grab it. As I was grabbing it, I heard the door creak loudly behind me. Being a scientist, I went over and tried to recreate the sound. like a dork by moving the door myself back and forth. Creepy, though, as I could not recreate the squeaking noise from that damn door no matter how hard I tried. "Welcome to our room for the night, Ghost Kitty," I joked out loud. I proceeded to laugh it off, not wanting to scare myself, and told my husband what had happened. We went on to enjoy the night. We went to bed like normal, but during the night I awoke. Normally a sound sleeper, especially after some booze. Anyway, I woke up a few times, feeling like I had peed the bed. I was like, what the? But then realized the warm feeling was not pee, but was actually a strange warmth from where a cat would lay and sleep on my lap while I lay in bed. But we were not home with our cat. I suppose Ghost Kitty felt welcome, and he or she decided to sleep on my lap for the night. I didn't freak out too much, as I thought, well, the kitty is supposed to be friendly, so I definitely did not get a full night's sleep either. That's my real life ghost story for you. Oh my goodness. That's kind of awesome. I'm not sure how I'd feel about a ghost kitty. I absolutely would not want to piss the thing off. But that is absolutely awesome, and that sounds like a place I might need to go. And if you know if that mental hospital place is still accepting visitors, I'm not saying I want to get checked in or anything. Maybe. I mean, it might be a nice little vacation for me. But that's a place I would love to investigate. I don't think I'd stay there by myself per se, but I might like to investigate it. I may have time for one last ghost story if I have to freeze this at the end and just show you my nails for like 10 minutes. Then that's what I'm going to do. This last story is called Perverted Ghost and Ghost Adventures. I'm in already. Hi, Marla. When I heard you wanted ghost stories, I knew I had to write in my freaky little experience with Old Town San Diego. My ex-fiance was obsessed with ghost adventures and ghost hunters. Me too, by the way. One Sunday morning, I convinced him to drive to San Diego with me to spend the day in historic Old Town. When there, we decided to tour the old Whaley house. The history of this home is both cool and sad, and just full of suicides, deaths, and hangings. During our tour, we were taken upstairs into a little theater, which the Whaley family rented to a local theater group to put on shows back in the day. While there, my ex was walking around taking tons of photos, hoping to catch a spirit. Meanwhile, I was standing listening to the guide, feeling out of sorts. I had a weird pressure in my chest and my lungs. Felt like I had just ran a sprint or something. I just, for the life of me, could not catch my breath. I guess while I was trying to recover and find somewhere to sit, everyone had slowly cleared out of the room, and my ex approached me with a worried look on his face, asking me what was wrong. I told him how I felt and how I became a little lightheaded. He asked if it was from the stairs, and I looked at me funny, because mind you, the walk up the stairs was very short, and while yes, I'm out of shape, it was not from the walk up. It had been a good amount of time from when we had arrived to the second floor. At least enough so I should not have been feeling that way from the walk. We sort of hung back for a little bit until I started to feel better and got some color back in my cheeks, and when we shook it off, forgot all about it. We went on with our day, enjoying our time walking around and touring the entire town. That night, we arrived home tired. We got into bed, watched TV, found Ghost Adventures was on. Now guess what, they were in lockdown. Yep, you guessed it, the Whaley house. We laughed at the cool coincidence and felt more inclined to watch since we had just been there. While watching, something funny happened to Nick. I'm guessing that's the ex-fiance. I didn't even catch it until my ex pointed it out. Oh, Nick from the show. Got it. Nick is on Ghost Adventures, by the way. Well, in the courthouse at the Whaley house, Nick started to feel pressure in his chest. My ex was freaking out, saying, "Oh my God, that's exactly what happened to you." I told him, "That's not real, he's faking it." And I explained that he probably did feel that way because I'm out of shape, and I didn't want to admit it to myself. A few months later, my ex decided to go back to the house, but this time we did a night tour. While waiting outside for the tour to start, the guide was standing around answering questions. Someone asked about ghost sightings, and the guide said he'd never seen any himself, but that several female visitors had expressed feelings of tightness in their chest or loss of breath. He said they believe it was the doing of the old theater producer because most of the time the encounters occurred on the second floor. Both of our mouths dropped, and while I was trying not to freak out and run away, My ex grabbed onto my hand to prevent me from the escape and let the guide know this was exactly what happened to me a few months back. The guide just sat there nodding his head, straight-faced, looking at me, said, "Yeah, it happens." It happens. My ex even more eager to get in the house at that point, while I stood there hesitant to go back into the home of the pervy, molesting ghost, but I'm glad I did. Nothing weird happened that time, and the house really is spooky AF at night. Now it's just a cool story I get to share to creep out my most cherished humans. Wait a minute. You didn't say anything about a pervy molesting ghost. I have questions. Is that why you're all out of breath? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry this ran so long and I made you stare at my nails for a while, but I hope you enjoyed these stories. I hope you have a happy and safe Halloween, and I will catch you guys in my next vid. Love you, bye.